Inside your head, the most complex object we've discovered, a 3-pound mass of soft tissue. It feels like jelly, yet it holds everything you are. Your memories, your fears, your deepest desires, your personality, your thoughts, your consciousness. This is your brain. For centuries we looked to the stars. We built powerful telescopes, but the greatest frontier may lie between your ears. This biological machine makes us human. Every second your brain performs astonishing tasks. It processes sensory information. It lets you see the world. It lets you hear sounds. It lets you feel textures. It coordinates movement, simple walking, playing a musical instrument. It regulates essential functions, your heartbeat, your breathing, without conscious thought, a silent, tireless conductor, orchestrating a grand symphony. This activity is happening right now, powering your experience of reality, shaping every interaction. Think about what it's doing now. Deciphering these words, turning symbols into ideas, connecting new ideas to old, forming richer understanding, keeping you balanced in your chair, managing body temperature, maybe making you curious. All done by nearly 100 billion neurons, a dense web of connections. A living, buzzing metropolis of information, more connections than stars in the Milky Way. A memory, a skill, a face. This wiring makes you who you are, a changing network that adapts and rewires. Neuroplasticity. Your brain is never static, constantly evolving, learning, growing. Understanding this 3-pound universe is the ultimate journey of self-discovery. Why should we dedicate ourselves to understanding this complex organ? The answer is simple. Understanding the brain is the key to understanding ourselves. Every joy we feel, every challenge we overcome, every decision we make. When something goes wrong with the brain, the consequences can be devastating. Alzheimer's disease, Parkinson's disease, depression, schizophrenia. These are not just medical terms. They represent profound personal struggles for patients and their families. They alter personalities. They steal memories. They change the very essence of a person. The quest to unlock the brain's secrets is also a quest for cures. By studying the brain, we can develop new treatments and therapies to repair what is broken. We can find ways to slow down or even prevent degenerative diseases. We can create better interventions for mental health, offering hope to those who are suffering. The study of neuroscience is not just an academic exercise. It has a direct and powerful impact on human health and well-being. It provides a roadmap for improving lives and easing suffering. It helps people reclaim their sense of self. It is a field driven by compassion and a desire to make a tangible difference. Beyond medicine, understanding the brain can unlock human potential. How do we learn most effectively? How can we make better decisions, individually and as a society? How can we foster more creativity and innovation? By exploring how we learn, we can revolutionize education. By examining how we make choices, we can design systems to avoid common biases. This journey into the mind is one of the most exciting scientific adventures of our time. We now have tools our ancestors could only dream of. Advanced imaging technologies let us watch the brain in action. Powerful computers and artificial intelligence help map its complex wiring and simulate functions. We are living in a golden age of neuroscience, with discoveries every day. Join us as we explore the inner workings of this incredible organ. Our 20-minute journey will take you from the smallest neuron to the biggest questions about what it means to be human. To understand the brain, we must start with its smallest functional unit, the neuron. These are the building blocks of thought, the fundamental cells that do all the heavy lifting. You have around 86 billion of them, and each one is a tiny living computer. A neuron has a main body, called the soma, which contains its nucleus and keeps the cell alive. Sprouting from this body are branch-like extensions called dendrites. Think of these as the neuron's ears, constantly listening for signals. These dendrites receive incoming messages, gathering information from thousands of neighbors in a vast network. It is this constant chatter between cells that forms the basis of all your mental activity. Extending from the other side of the neuron's body is a long, slender cable called the axon. This is the neuron's voice. When a neuron decides it is time to speak, it sends an electrical signal, an action potential, racing down its axon. This signal is an all-or-nothing event, like flipping a light switch. The neuron either fires completely or not at all. Some axons are incredibly short, connecting to nearby cells. Others can be remarkably long, stretching from your brain down your spinal cord to move your toes. Dendrites for listening, axon for speaking, the foundation of communication across the nervous system. Neurons do not physically touch each other. There is a microscopic gap between the axon of one neuron and the dendrite of another. This tiny space is called a synapse. It is here, in this infinitesimal gap, that the magic of brain communication happens. When the electrical signal, the action potential, reaches the end of an axon, it needs to cross this gap to deliver its message to the next cell. It cannot simply jump across. Instead, it triggers the release of special chemical messengers. These chemicals are called neurotransmitters. They are the couriers of the brain, carrying signals from one neuron to the next. Think of the synapse as a busy harbor. The electrical signal arriving at the axon terminal is like a ship docking. The ship unloads its cargo, the neurotransmitters, into the synaptic gap. They drift across the tiny distance to the other side, where they bind to specific receptors on the receiving dendrite. These receptors are like locks, and the neurotransmitters are the keys. When the right key fits the right lock, it opens a channel. That causes a change in the receiving neuron. It can excite the neuron, making it more likely to fire, or inhibit it, making it less likely. This happens with incredible speed and precision, millions of times per second. While the brain works as an integrated whole, it is helpful to divide it into distinct regions, each with specialized functions. Let's take a quick tour. The largest and most visible part of the human brain is the cerebrum. Its outer layer is the cerebral cortex, a deeply wrinkled sheet of neural tissue. These wrinkles and folds dramatically increase the surface area, allowing us to pack more processing power into our skulls. The cortex is the home of our higher cognitive functions, our thoughts, our language, our voluntary actions, and our ability to reason and plan for the future. It is the part of the brain that makes us uniquely human. Tucked underneath the cerebrum at the back of the head is the cerebellum. Its name means little brain, and though it is much smaller than the cerebrum, it is incredibly dense with neurons. The cerebellum is the master of coordination and balance. When you ride a bike, play the piano, or even just walk without stumbling, you have your cerebellum to thank. It fine-tunes your movements, making them smooth, precise, and automatic. Deep within the center of the brain lies the limbic system. This is the emotional heart of the brain. It is a collection of structures, including the hippocampus, which is crucial for forming new memories, and the amygdala, which processes core emotions like fear and pleasure. The limbic system drives our survival instincts, our desire for food, our fight or flight response to danger, and our fundamental social urges. Finally, connecting the brain to the spinal cord is the brainstem. This is the oldest and most primitive part of the brain, responsible for regulating the most basic functions necessary for life. It controls your breathing, your heart rate, and your sleep-wake cycles. Together, these regions, the thinking cortex, the coordinated cerebellum, the emotional limbic system, and the life-sustaining brainstem, work in a constant, dynamic concert to create the unified experience of being you. Your brain is a living library, and your memories are its collection of books. Each one tells a story about who you are, where you have been, and what you have learned. But this library does not store information like a computer. Memory is not a single file you pull up. Instead, it is a complex and creative process of reconstruction. We can start by dividing memory into two main types: short-term and long-term. Short-term memory, often called working memory, is like a small notepad. It holds a limited amount of information for a brief period, just long enough for you to use it, like remembering a phone number you have just been told. This mental notepad has a very small capacity. Most people can only hold about 7 pieces of information in their short-term memory at any given time. For a memory to last longer, it must be transferred into the vast archive of long-term memory. This process is called consolidation, and it is where the hippocampus plays a starring role. It takes new experiences and carefully indexes them, linking together all the different sensory aspects of the memory: the sight, the sound, the smell, the emotion, which are stored in different parts of the cortex. Long-term memory itself is not one single thing. It is divided into different systems. There is explicit memory, and then there is implicit memory, like riding a bike or typing on a keyboard. You do not have to consciously remember how to do these things. This intricate system of storing and retrieving information allows you to build a continuous sense of self, connecting your past, present, and future into a coherent life story. Learning is the process of acquiring new knowledge and skills. At its core, learning is the physical act of changing your brain. Every time you learn something new, you are physically rewiring the connections between your neurons. This remarkable ability of the brain to change its own structure and function in response to experience is called neuroplasticity. It is the foundation of all learning. Think of a path being forged through a dense forest. The first time you walk it, the journey is difficult. But the more times you travel that same path, the clearer and wider it becomes. It turns into a well-worn trail that is easy and quick to follow. Synaptic connections in your brain work in a similar way. When you first learn a skill, the neural pathway is weak. With practice, repetition strengthens that specific pathway. The neurons involved become better at communicating. This is the principle of neurons that fire together, wire together. This process of rewiring happens throughout our lives. For a long time, it was believed that the adult brain was fixed and unchangeable. We now know this is not true. The adult brain remains remarkably adaptable. You can learn a new language, pick up a new instrument, or change a lifelong habit at any age. Neuroplasticity is not just for learning new skills. It is also how the brain recovers from injury. Other areas can sometimes reorganize to take over the lost functions. This incredible, dynamic capacity for change means that your brain is never finished. It is a work in progress. You are, in a very real sense, the architect of your own brain. Decision-making is one of the brain's most important and complex jobs. It is not a purely logical process. It is a dynamic interplay between the rational, deliberate prefrontal cortex and the fast, intuitive, emotional limbic system. Your brain is constantly weighing potential outcomes, calculating risks and rewards, and drawing upon past experiences. The prefrontal cortex, located right behind your forehead, is the brain's chief executive officer. It is responsible for what we call executive functions: planning, impulse control, and logical reasoning. It allows you to override your immediate impulses and think ahead. For example, it is the part of your brain that helps you choose to study for an exam instead of going out with friends. However, your prefrontal cortex does not work in isolation. It is in constant communication with your limbic system. Your emotions and gut feelings play a powerful role. If a past choice led to a bad outcome, your brain attaches a negative emotional signal to that option, creating a gut feeling that warns you away from it. This is your intuition at work. Sometimes these two systems come into conflict. The choice you make depends on which system wins the internal tug-of-war. Good decision-making is not about suppressing emotion. The best decisions often integrate both systems. Emotion provides valuable information and motivation, while reason provides the structure and foresight. Understanding this internal dialogue is the first step toward making wiser, more balanced choices in all aspects of your life. For most of history, the brain was a black box. We knew it was important, but we had no way to see its internal structure or activity. The last few decades brought a revolution in imaging. We have begun to create the first comprehensive maps of the human brain. One of the most ambitious efforts is the Human Connectome project. Think of it as Google Maps for the brain. The goal: build a complete network map of the brain's wiring. Scientists use advanced imaging to trace long-distance fiber tracks. These fiber tracks are the brain's information superhighways. The brain is organized into distinct networks that cooperate. This network view shifts focus from single regions to collaboration. New maps give unprecedented insight into neurological and psychiatric conditions. Comparing healthy connectomes to those with Alzheimer's reveals subtle wiring differences. fMRI tracks changes in blood flow. When a part of your brain becomes more active, it needs more oxygen, so blood rushes to that area. When you look at a face, the visual cortex lights up. For the first time, we can literally see the brain processing information. Another powerful tool is electroencephalography, or EEG. A cap of small electrodes placed on the scalp listens to electrical activity. These technologies are becoming vital clinical tools. Neurosurgeons use fMRI to map a patient's brain before surgery, mapping to protect language areas. To truly understand, we need to build it with computer code, not tissue. Scientists use the world's most powerful supercomputers to simulate brain circuits. The goal: a digital brain that behaves like the real thing. By building virtual brains, we can test theories about how neural networks process information. This is where artificial intelligence, or AI, comes in. AI and neuroscience is a two-way street. Today, those networks power applications like facial recognition and language translation. Now, neuroscientists use advanced AI to understand the biological brain. AI can analyze massive data sets, finding complex patterns humans might miss. For example, AI can analyze fMRI to decode brain activity, predicting what a person is seeing, even what they're thinking. Imagine communicating with locked-in patients who cannot move or speak. The ultimate goal is to be able to repair it when it breaks. One of the most dramatic examples is deep brain stimulation, or DBS. DBS has had a revolutionary impact on the treatment of Parkinson's disease. The effect can be astonishing, like flipping a switch. Beyond electricity, scientists are turning to genetics. Gene therapy uses harmless modified viruses as delivery vehicles. These viruses are engineered to carry a healthy copy of a gene and deliver it to the target brain cells. This approach aims to fix the problem at its most fundamental source: our own DNA. Our growing understanding of neuroplasticity is fueling advances in neurorehabilitation. Therapies using virtual reality can help stroke patients regain control of their limbs. Transcranial magnetic stimulation, or TMS, uses powerful magnetic fields to stimulate or inhibit specific brain regions, helping to retune dysfunctional circuits. These new therapies represent a paradigm shift. We are moving from simply managing symptoms to actively and precisely intervening in the brain's circuitry to restore healthy function. We stand on the cusp of a new era. An era where the boundary between the human brain and technology begins to blur. The next frontier is to directly connect our minds to the digital world. This is the realm of brain-computer interfaces, or BCIs. A BCI is a device that can read signals directly from the brain and use them to control an external device. It creates a direct communication pathway from thought to action. People who have been paralyzed by injury or disease are learning to control robotic limbs with their thoughts. Scientists implant a tiny array of electrodes onto the surface of the motor cortex. When the person simply thinks about moving their arm, the electrodes pick up the corresponding neural signals. A computer then decodes these signals. For someone who has lost the ability to move, this technology offers a miraculous restoration of independence. Researchers are working on interfaces that can send information into the brain. A camera connected to the visual cortex could one day restore a form of sight to people who are blind. This merging of mind and machine raises profound questions. What happens to our sense of self? Who is in control? Beyond complex medical implants, a new wave of consumer neurotechnology is emerging, designed to monitor brain activity and even influence it in daily life. Headbands with simplified EEG sensors can track your sleep cycles. Other devices claim to monitor your focus while you work. Perhaps the most pressing concern is the issue of mental privacy. What happens if this data is hacked or used without your consent? Who should have access to these powerful neurotechnologies? If a device can enhance memory or focus, will it create a new divide? Could neurotechnology be used to determine if a witness is telling the truth? Could it be used to make soldiers more effective or less fearful? We need a broad and inclusive public conversation about the kind of future we want to build, ensuring that our technology always serves our shared human values. We have journeyed through the most intricate and mysterious landscape known to science, the 3-pound universe inside your head. We started with the humble neuron, saw how memory is, a creative act of reconstruction, and learned that the act of learning is the physical process of rewiring our own brain. Our journey continued into the modern era. These breakthroughs are leading to powerful new therapies that can repair the brain's circuits. Yet the source of consciousness remains one of science's biggest mysteries. How does coordinated firing of billions of neurons produce the subjective experience of being you? This quest matters for everyone. It promises to revolutionize medicine, transform education, and enhance collective well-being. The story of the brain is the story of humanity, of resilience, of creativity, of an unceasing drive to understand. The human brain holds the key to understanding ourselves. It's the engine of creativity, the seed of compassion, the instrument for experiencing the wonder of the universe. Subscribe to Kendu Global Files for more 20-minute documentaries that explore the hidden wonders of the mind. Our mission is to continue this journey of discovery with you, one fascinating topic at a time.